Unstoppable Equestrian. I'm Danielle Pools from Dressage Plus, and today I thought it was very timely. It's a beautiful spring morning, hopefully you can still see, and so I thought it was very timely to talk about spring and spring grass coming through and share with you some practical and some mindset exercises to help you get through spring a little easier. If you've got a horse that gets affected by the spring grass and gets a bit hot and sprightly and energetic, or even sometimes they can get a bit cheeky and arrogant through spring, I thought it's a good time to talk about it and hopefully give you some ideas to help get through it. So firstly, some practical ideas, and obviously most of these will be pretty common sense based and ones you would know, but just a bit of, oh, sorry about the sun there, a bit of a refreshing up. So making sure you're doing things, if you know that your horse gets affected by grass and in past springs they've been a little bit hot, then you want to make sure you get ahead of the game. And if you've got a new horse and you're not too sure, you might want to just not kind of take some risks and just act and prevent, I suppose, is better than having to then go back and fix things up. So you want to get ahead of the game by doing little things like cutting their feed down before they give you the signs that they're getting too hot and have too much energy. You might even want to take their paddock off, or if you've got a paddock that's been eaten down quite a bit, you might want to lock them up in there for a little bit. Put them in a stable if you've got access to a stable or yard. Oh, the sun is very bright, it's such a beautiful day. You could even be strip grazing them and just, I suppose, being in control of how much grass they're getting and limiting them to their intake. Obviously some other exercises you can do is to add some supplements into their feed, some calming supplements, B vitamin supplements, things like that. If some horses that works really well for. You might also want to make sure you're adding in some groundwork and some behaviour training to make sure they understand they've got to stay respectable and they've got to listen to you even if they have got extra energy going through their body. So you might want to add in some lunging work or some groundwork and just make sure that they're responding to you as well. And the most important practical exercise I can give you is make sure you ride. Make sure if you've got comps and clinics coming up through spring, make sure you're putting into practice making a priority, got to concentrate now. Make a priority to add those extra rides in, and add the extra ride just before your comp or just before your clinic. Don't go in on those things on a fresh horse, and don't underestimate. Good girl. She's seen some goats, which she sees all the time, but they're just in a different spot at the moment and she can't see them properly. So just you see Rondo there having a bit of a look. She wants to go play with them, I think. Hey, miss? Hey, good girl. So just making sure you're adding in those extra rides and taking that extra energy your horse is getting from the grass, moving it somewhere else, using it up on the arena, adding in some lunges if you need to add the lunges in, making sure that you're moving that energy on so that you're not having to deal with it on a fresh horse in a warm-up arena or anything like that. Good girl. So moving on, the mindset exercises, and just a couple of ideas I want to share with you, and this is the most important part because you can't always control if your horse is going to get a bit happy over springtime, but you can control your own mindset and the way you think about it and the way you view it. So just a couple of ideas I want to share with you. Firstly, the idea that as horse riders, we all, I suppose it's a bit of a story or a bit of a belief that horses can get hot in spring and the green grass can affect them. So I want you to be aware of the stories you're telling to yourself and the people around you. So don't continually be talking about the spring grass and anticipating that your horse is going to get hot. Those kind of thoughts and those conversations are going to make you feel you're going to end up lacking in confidence getting on your horse, and you're going to be constantly thinking, is your horse going to be hot? how they're reacting to the grass. So you don't actually want to be continually telling those stories. Be very mindful of that and the talks you're having with your friends and other horse people around you. Secondly, I want you to think about if you've got a busy spring, you've set some goals and your agendas to go out and compete and go to club day and comps and clinics and things like that. I want you to think about if your horse is actually getting affected by the spring grass, and you can feel the freshness in there, and you're getting extra spooks, and you don't quite have a brain at times, then it might be a good time to actually take some pressure off yourself. And even if you do have goals set and you are competing at big comps or doing exciting things, if your horse is affected by the grass a little bit, maybe you need to rethink how you're going to perceive what's going on. And you might want to do that by letting go of any scores that you had in mind, letting go of any results that you had in mind, and just going for the journey. Just have some fun and take it all as a training session. If you're leading up to a comp, your horse is quite energetic and spooking more than it normally would, see that comp as just a training day. You're going to go out to the warm-up and practice dealing with a horse with a bit much energy, and just let go, I suppose. Shake it off, shake off any results. It doesn't matter if your horse explodes in the middle of a test or it shies at the letters down the wall. It doesn't matter. And just by relieving yourself of that pressure, you're going to actually enjoy spring and the events that come up through spring a lot more, because your horse is going to do whatever it's going to do, and you have to live in your own head, so you might as well make it a fun place to live. And you just do that by changing the pressure and the level of expectations you're going to put on yourself and your horse, and then it just makes the journey a much more enjoyable one. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope if you find yourself midway through spring and it's not going great, that you can just realign your goals a little bit, realign your expectations, and just take the pressure off yourself and your horse and go out and enjoy the rest of spring. So I would love to hear from you. What exercises, what tools, what tips do you have that helps through springtime? Please share in the comments below, and it'll help obviously other riders out there going through a bit of a challenging springtime. So really useful. Have a great day, guys, and I hope you have some fun spring rides. Bye.